It is 4:33. Going to open this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Dorothy, could you please take roll, please?
Bob Waller, Garrett Harmon,
Here.
Don Barnett,
Here.
Doyle Malone, Bill Morgan,
Here.
Michael Siegerman, Rustin Zuber, Glenn Andrew.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, first item is our Visitor Citizens Forum. Any person with business not scheduled on the agenda is encouraged to briefly speak their ideas to the Commission. Fill out the speaker request form and give it to the Commission Secretary prior to the meeting. The number of speakers will be limited to the first 10 speakers, and each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. No formal action can be taken on these items, as the Open Meetings Act requires formal action items to be posted on an agenda no later than 72 hours before the meeting. If formal action is required, the items will be placed on an agenda for a future meeting. See nobody to speak. We'll move to agenda item number 2, the consent agenda. All items listed below in the consent agenda are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless a commissioner or citizen so request, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item 2A, approval of the minutes from the August 4th meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Sir, what set of minutes was there misspelling?
Oh, and Siegerman. Let me fix
Right,
that.
we have correction on the minutes to
Okay.
change the spelling of the last name of Mr. Siegerman. Just to give you a heads up on that. We have changed the spelling of the last name. There was a typo.
Oh,
Okay.
I see that.
Typo.
What's the correct spelling?
It is Sigerman.
Okay. All right. Anybody see any other corrections?
I'll second the motion to approve them as corrected.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval, raise your right hand. Motion carries. We have approval of the minutes from the August 18th meeting.
I move they be approved with the same correction being made on Michael Siegerman.
I have one other correction. It has me listed as present, but I was not at that particular meeting on the 18th.
Amend my motion to approve with that correction.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the meetings August 18th. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Let's see. Consideration and action. Item 3A, we have consideration and action on amending a plat, a proposed amending plats for lot 43 and 44, Block B of Comanche Trace. Trent, could you give us some information on this one, please?
Yes, sir. The address is located at approximately 3900 Oak Park Drive. They came in for amending plat of Comanche Trace Phase 9, making lot number 43A, combining 43 and 44. The proposal has met all requirements and guidelines in accordance with Article 10-4 of the City of Kerrville Subdivision Ordinance, and staff does recommend approval.
And this does not require
No public hearing is required, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions on this amended plat?
Nope.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the plat amendment. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Item 3B, consideration and action on a preliminary plat. Proposed preliminary plat for O'Reilly Kerrville Edition. a subdivision containing 9.9 acres of land. Trent, could you give us some information on this one, please?
Yes, sir. This is the preliminary plat for O'Reilly Kerrville Addition located at approximately 1327 Junction Highway. This does not require a public hearing. The proposal has met all requirements and guidelines in accordance with Article 10-4 of the City of Kerrville Subdivision Ordinance. The larger copy I gave to you is just a larger copy of what you received in your packet. Nothing has changed. We just issued those today, so.
Do we know what's going in there, Trent?
I know from what I've heard, an O'Reilly's Auto Parts retail store. However, that's going to be up to the owner. This is for the subdivision of land. So we generally don't ask when it comes to the planning process.
Maybe you had heard.
Right. The only thing I've heard is a potential O'Reilly's Auto Parts store.
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Item 3C. Consideration and action on a preliminary plat. A proposed preliminary plat for another closet self-storage comprising 8.6 acres of land. Trent.
Yes, this is located at approximately 3371 Loop 534. This is the preliminary plat for another self-storage. Staff does, at the time the staff report was issued, staff did recommend denial due to the proposal did not meet all requirements and guidelines in accordance with Article 10-4 of the City of Kerrville Subdivision Ordinance. However, between when we sent out the packet and this morning, they have resubmitted their preliminary plat with amendments made to it that does meet all those requirements. Staff would like to go ahead and change the recommendation to approval. And I did hand out those amendments today that you are more than welcome to take some time and look at.
Yeah, let me take a second and look at this.
Right, some of the changes that you'll see, so I can point those out so you can see. During the preliminary plat process, it requires you to list the plat, lot number and block. They added, the block was not there, they added the block. Another one was the topographic data. It was required for a preliminary plat. That has been added on. There was a question about easements, but that was approved by the city engineer. He looked at that and he was fine with the proposed easements. But there are minor changes, but they need to be on the plat itself, so they are all now on the plat.
The balance of that lot, lot one, it looks like there's another lot behind that.
Behind that or to the south of it, sir?
Well, the part behind it that's showing here.
To the northwest.
That's an easement.
That's
just
an
an
easement
easement?
separating.
That's not another lot in
No, sir.
development?
No, sir. That's an easement that's in the middle of the lot for fire hydrants. In order for them to serve the entire, that was a required easement. So it's not a separation of lots. There's only one lot.
There's been a lot of site work done at this location already. Is that normal to happen?
I talked to the city engineer regarding that site work, what has been done. I'm not an engineer, I'm going to say that now, but he said it's rough grading that is being occurred, which is permitted. They can't do any final grading on the lot, and that has not yet occurred. For further information, I would need to refer to our city engineer, which I'm more than happy to talk to, and they also have their engineer here as well.
It's a pretty severe grade there.
It is. It's 70 feet of elevation.
Mr. Wellborn, if you could go up to the mic and just so it can be on record, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mike Wellborn, 211 Golden Valley. There's 72 feet of elevation difference from the front to back. We're cutting 30 feet in the back. And we actually already have approved civil construction plans. I've had a pre-construction meeting.
Okay.
But a development site plan has been presented.
The development site plan has been approved for the site.
It's been approved.
Okay.
Is there any plans for development on that northwestern section? Or is it just,
Yeah, the whole thing's been developed on this tract.
okay.
So all the site work we see now is what is on this lot, on this site.
Correct.
How many units will go in there?
Wow, how many?
13, 14 units, full units.
Yeah, but some of the construction plans, if you'd like to see them.
That's, okay, all right. That's my only question.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Commissioners, any other questions?
I move that it be approved as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve preliminary plat as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 3-0. Item 4A, public hearings and action. Have a public hearing, consideration and action concerning a request for replat of G Street South, lots 1, 2, and 3 of Block 3. Trent, could you give us some information on this one?
Yes, sir. If I get the last PowerPoint up for 4A, please. I'll just continue on until they get it up. The next item is located approximately 228 G Street. This is a replat of the G Street South lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 3, comprising of 0.69 acres of land. Staff does recommend that the commission hold the required public hearing, receive public comments, and take action on the proposal. At the time, staff did recommend denial. It did not meet all the requirements. However, they have amended their replat to make sure there's some issues with some of the easements. I believe there was a K-pub and a potential Atmos easement, some issues, and that those were corrected. I have got confirmation from both K-pub and Atmos representatives that they have met all their requirements as well for these easements. Staff does recommend approval with the plat submitted to you today.
What is it actually doing to the plat? I mean, there's already a building exists there.
Right. So they wanted, I believe they wanted the current owners of the property wanted to add awning and some others, add on a little bit to the building, but because the lot lines were too close, they didn't meet setback requirements of how the lots were separated, and due to that reason, they're replatting the lot to make it one to meet all setback requirements as mandated by the zoning code.
So that they can address their needs to change the facade on that side of the building?
Yes, sir. I believe they're adding an awning,
Awning.
but because that would have encroached in the setback, they decided just to replat and make it clean.
It's also it's tough to get parking in on that site.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
I didn't know there was any parking on that site.
there's a little bit, but this will help quite a bit.
And this does require a public hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Trent. Okay, at 4:46, we'll open the public hearing. Seeing no one come forward, at 4:47, we will close the public hearing. Commissioners, have any questions on this site?
If it meets the requirements, then it's okay.
I move it be approved as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to approve as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 3-0. Item 5 is staff reports.
We don't have anything to report at this time. However, we do have a commissioner who's been out for a while now due to health concerns, but I've heard he's been doing better. It's just, we encourage you to keep him in your thoughts. He's a great man, and we're just wishing him the best.
All right. We have a meeting scheduled yet?
Our next meeting schedule is for October 6th, the first meeting in October, the first Thursday in October.
Okay,
We do have a meeting scheduled.
all right. Sounds good.
I
Okay.
will not be here.
Okay.
On the next meeting, you'll not be here. We'll still send you the packets
That's fine.
as
I've
usual.
gotta be in Houston that week.
Okay, well, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. At 4:48, we are adjourned.